How's it going, guys? Aaron from PhoneDog.com here, and we've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and the device that some call the best Android device ever is finally in the house. The Samsung Galaxy S2 is here. It was announced at Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. It's not quite available in the States yet, but you can get it through those online specialty retailers like Exynos USA. Now, the downside is it's a pretty lofty $800 without a contract. You're buying it completely unsubsidized. You're buying a UK version. They've got that nice markup on it as a result of it not being available in the States. So it's pretty penny if you want to buy it. Say that 3 times fast. If you want to buy it and bring it into the States. Not available from a carrier just yet, though the rumors are that in the summer it's going to be available from at least 3 of the 4 major US carriers, or 3 total if the AT&T T-Mobile merger goes through. But here it is, 1.2 gigahertz dual-core processor, 4.3-inch Super AMOLED Plus display, 8-megapixel camera, front-facing camera, Android 2.3 Gingerbread with TouchWiz 4.0, and a super fast device that's thin as well. Is it the best Android phone? Are there better US alternatives? Is it worth the $800? We're going to find out that and more in the full review. But first, special thanks to our friends at Best Buy. They're hooking us up with things like Thunderbolts, Sidekick 4Gs, and hopefully, if this ever comes to the States, they could hook us up with those too for use on One Paw Bandit game. When we go into Best Buy Mobile, you don't have to deal with rebates. You walk out the door paying the after rebate price, which is super cool. So thanks to them for putting those phones in the One Paw Bandit game. But enough of that, let's get into it. Full review, Samsung Galaxy S2, is this the phone to have? Let's see what comes pre-installed on this device, and keep in mind, because it's an unlocked and an unbranded device, there's no carrier-installed bloatware, though I'm sure when it comes to the States, there'll be plenty of bloatware, and you won't be able to uninstall it through Android, so something to keep in mind. But again, you can see how fast that loads up. I mean, incredibly fast, no lag when scrolling between the screens. But anyway, so you get clock calendar, and you're going to notice that some of the icons have changed with either it going to Gingerbread or with it being TouchWiz 4.0. So clock, calendar, music, internet, let's see some different ones. Email, that icon's a little different, camera, and I'll get into that in a second. The camera interface is slightly different. You get your Samsung hubs down here. You get Social Hub, Music Hub, Readers Hub, and Game Hub. So this is something we saw in the Galaxy S2 at Mobile World Congress. It did make its way in, but they're just little hubs where I can add a particular account like Facebook, MySpace. MySpace is still on there, so somebody has to use MySpace. But I can still access those and use Social Hub to kind of aggregate all that data. Music Hub, Readers Hub, Game Hub, they're what they sound like. You can download music, read books, things like that, games, and then scroll over. My Files, videos, all share. Keys, I don't know if it's Keys or Keys or Keys, how it's pronounced, but Keys Air. Google Talk, typical stuff. Voice Talk, voice recorder, but different icons as well, and they're all kind of out of order. Mini Diary, Samsung apps. Samsung has its own app store here, so we'll load up Samsung apps and take a look at that just to see what it's like. And then after this, we're going to go into your questions, because I posed the question on Twitter, what would you like to see about the Galaxy S2? It's part of a new thing I'm doing in the part 2 of the videos, so we will get into that in just a second. But let's see, top apps, let's see if it'll show me. Okay, so here we go, how-to videos, AccuWeather clock, and download some of this. Let's see what else we have in here. Android guys, automotive news, MMA junkies, Tweetcaster, a lot of cool stuff that you can download from the Samsung App Store. Then you have IM, Task Manager, Polaris Office. Now there's some stuff, because this is a UK device, that you're not going to be able to use if you do buy it and bring it into the States. One of those is BBC iPlayer. When you start it up, we'll go in here and we'll pick one of the TV shows, for example. And you see BBC iPlayer is only available within the United Kingdom. Well, obviously I'm not in the UK right now, so I can't access that, but it is on there and pre-installed. And then you have some stuff I pre-installed, like Quadrant Standard, some of my apps. Now, one of the questions was, I'm going to jump into this one, one of the questions posed on Twitter was, will the Tegra Zone games work on it, or does it detect that it's not a Tegra 2 CPU, and does it close out? Well, I'm going to let you see it for yourself. It does allow me to download the application from the Android market. I'm going to Games here, and we'll go to one of the free games. Let's see. We'll do Vendetta Online, for example. Get it now? And that's what happens. Non-Tegra device detected. It requires a Tegra mobile processor. When you click OK, it kicks you back out. So no, there's really no use to downloading the Tegra Zone app, because you can't install the games anyway, at least right now, unless there's some sort of mod or hack around that, which I'm sure there is, and I'm sure somebody will find it in due time. But at least not right now. You cannot get around that. So let's go to some of the questions, see what people are asking. And let's see here. Let me scroll over my Twitter. and see if you buy this phone unlocked, would it only work on the Edge network for T-Mobile? Yes, like I said, and this may be in part 1 when I edit the video, but it only works in terms of 3G and 4G, it only works on AT&T, not on T-Mobile. The max you will get is Edge on T-Mobile. I'm running AT&T, so that's why you're seeing, for example, right now it's on 3G, which this is something I really like about the Galaxy S2, is it shows actually when it's on 3G and when it's on 4G, H+, whereas the Infuse 4G shows just H+ all the time, assuming you're in 3G or 4G markets. So it is a little bit more honest on that front. Does the Galaxy S2 support Tegra optimized? Okay, that's what I just did. No, it does not support the Tegra optimized games. Battery life's been pretty decent. That was a question that was asked. It's a 1,650 milliamp battery. I pulled it off the charger yesterday, and actually I forgot to charge it last night, but I pulled it off the charger yesterday at 9 o'clock in the morning. And with moderate use, it actually died this morning at about 7:30. It went through the night while I was sleeping, and I woke up at about 7:30 and it was at 1% left, and it died. So that's with moderate use. I consider that pretty good. When I went to bed last night, it was about 20%, and that was with, you know, phone calls, emails, browsing the web, downloading apps. So it's actually pretty impressive. It's not going to be anywhere in comparison to like iOS or you know, or the iPhone or anything like that, but it's definitely, for Android, it's a very powerful battery, and I've been impressed given the specs that this has. I expected it to be far worse. Let's see, battery life was, yeah, already answered that. Side loading on Galaxy S2, I'll show you so you can see, but yeah, you can side load on the Galaxy S2. Oops, let's go into settings, and you can just see how quickly it pulls me out of stuff and brings me back in. Let's go to applications. Allow unknown sources, bam. All you have to do is check that, and you're good to go. Does the compass work accurately, and how quickly does it pinpoint your exact location? Well, it pinpoints it pretty quickly. It is very accurate. I'm not going to show it on camera because if I pinpoint my location, I'm going to show you where my home office is. So that's probably not the best thing to do. But how loud is the speaker? A lot of people don't talk about call quality in these videos, so I'm going to jump into the phone and show you kind of an overview of the phone and the speaker and the call quality. So here's keypad, and you'll see some different stuff up here, and it's obviously customized to the UK with the U and favorites, but keypad, logs, contacts, favorites, and groups. So I have my logs, and whenever I text or call somebody, it pops up in the logs. I have my favorites, which are there, and I don't have any at the moment, but the island keys are still here, very typical Galaxy S / TouchWiz, but you'll see down here at the bottom, a little bit different here with video call, and then messaging and back. So you get a couple of different buttons down there. So let's dial 611 just to pop it up so you can see, bam. And we'll turn on the speaker so you get an idea of what it's like. I've been relatively pleased with it.
Thank you for calling AT&T about your wireless service.
So it's pretty loud, and you see the buttons that you get there as well, and that's what it looks like at the end, where you can create contact, update existing, and more. Now, the interesting thing about this device, it has one of the best antennas of any device I've used as well. I'm not in a particularly good area when it comes to AT&T. My new office isn't. And you can see I have 2 bars of service, whereas with some of the other devices I hover between, you know, 1, maybe 2, or 0 to 2 rather. So it is, to me, one of the best devices in terms of RF that I've used. But I want to show you the camera. It's an 8 megapixel camera. It's capable of taking 1080p video, and if you want to see that video, head over to the site. I do have a post up on that, but I just want to show you this one picture I took last night. Now, this was taken in complete, yes, Yingling, awesome, but this was taken in complete darkness. So you can see, let me zoom it up to where it goes to the screen. There we go. Taken in complete darkness, and you can see behind me all black, but that flash really illuminated, and just the clarity of the actual sticker on this is pretty impressive. So that was taken again in complete darkness. You can actually see the condensation on the bottle. So I've been really, really impressed with the camera. Let's do a quick shot here of the, let's just say the Infuse. And I'll come down here and take a picture. Just incredibly impressed. Let's see. Bam. And let's see what that one looks like. And we'll come in here. Let's see. So overall, you know, you can see the fingerprints, my little smudges. You can bring up the AT&T logo. I mean, all in all, it's just very clear. And a good 8 megapixel still shooter. 1080p video, was also very impressed with that. And let me pull the Infuse out of the way there. Very impressed with that as well. And then the front-facing camera, you know, pretty decent. It's nothing to write home about, but good for taking quick, maybe videos or doing video chat, things like that. Speed versus Atrix and G2X. It's noticeably faster, much faster than the Atrix. The Atrix is very slow to me, though. Like, you know, I've worked with the Atrix on a couple of occasions and was not incredibly pleased, you know, with the dual-core performance. Even though Quadrant Standard says it's decent, I noticed some lag throughout the software. G2X, it's definitely definitely just ahead of the G2X. My advice to everybody that's watching this will be, if you don't want to spend $800, can't talk today, $800 for this device, go with the G2X because it's only $199.99. You'll get a great performing device for $200. So 3, battery life, talked about that. 4, can you sideload apps, talked about that. 5 is hotspot enabled. I will show you in settings, wireless and network, tethering and portable hotspot. There you go, bam. Wi-Fi hotspot is on the device out of the box. So you do get that notification light. No, it does not have a notification light. And that's one of the many frustrations, or one of the few frustrations rather I have about Samsung. A lot of their devices, with the exception of like the Sidekick 4G, don't have notification lights. I like my notification lights. They should bring that back. Any news about US versions? Not just yet. Hopefully we'll hear more about that soon. Let's do a quadrant standard score test. I may do a speed test. We'll see in terms of network, but I'm going to do the quadrant standard just so you can see. We'll run the full benchmark. Call quality, like I said, has been exceptional on this device. Very, very good. And one of the best devices that I've worked with in terms of being able to hear, or being able to get AT&T cell service. I took it to a dead spot and was able to maintain the call. It wasn't as choppy actually as some of the other AT&T devices. It worked really well, and the speaker is nice and loud as well. I think for my feeble ears, I need that loudspeaker, and it's very impressive both on the earpiece front and on the actual external speaker front. So you can see how quickly it's moving through this quadrant standard. Let's see here. Here it comes. I hope it comes to the US soon. That's the rumor. Verizon, Sprint, and AT&T, and then kind of an alternate version coming to T-Mobile. So hopefully we'll see it this summer. But I mean, it's just an absolutely fantastic device. The problem, like I keep saying, lies in the price. Most people don't want to spend $800 on a cell phone. So in that case, there are some other good alternatives in the US, like the G2X. Let's see, benchmark device, 3,110. I mean, that's smoking fast. Absolutely smoking fast, and that's one of the slowest I've seen. Usually it averages between, and the tests I've done, between about 3,300 and 3,500. So I mean, you can see it just blows past anything else on the market. I mean, that's pretty impressive for a device, and so it's absolutely fast. And you see it in day-to-day use as well. But just to see that number, never seen one before the Galaxy S2 in the 3,000 range. That's pretty darn impressive. Speed test. We'll do one as I'm signing off just to show you, but this isn't an official AT&T device, so keep that in mind. Much more coverage to come on the Samsung Galaxy S2. I've got a bunch of dogfights planned for this with the Infuse, with the Nexus S4G, with the Droid Charge, and more, because this is a high-end device, so we need to compare it to the other high-end devices on the market to see which one is better, so keep an eye out for those. But all in all, best Android device in the market right now. Do you want to spend $800 is really what you need to decide, because as you can see, it's pretty pricey, if you're just buying it from Expansis USA or one of those stores and bringing it over. You may be better fit to go, or better suited rather, to go with a Galaxy S4G or a Nexus S4G or a G2X, where you can get the subsidized price. But awesome device, best on the market. TouchWiz 4.0 is exceptional, and Android 2.3 is a nice touch as well. Keep it locked on the site, and be sure to like us on Facebook, facebook.com/PhoneDog. We're giving away iPads and phones and more as part of our iPad 2 and smartphone sweepstakes. It's colossal. And that's why we call it the Colossal iPad 2 and smartphone sweepstakes. Follow me on Twitter as well, PhoneDog_Aaron, and on Facebook at facebook.com/PhoneDogAB. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.